Evening, everyone. I would like to call the June 9th, 2026 council meeting to order, and I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee.
Here.
Ms. Simmons.
Here.
Ms. Mapp.
Here.
Ms. Pendergast.
Here.
Dr. Wells.
Here.
Ms. Shanholster.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum present. If you will, please stand and join us in the prayer and the pledge of allegiance. Gracious God Almighty, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this meeting on tonight. We pray, Lord, that we have like minds and that your peace and understanding come within this room. We ask right now, Lord God, that we conduct ourselves as true servants. We conduct ourselves as true brothers and sisters in Christ in this meeting. As we move forward with this meeting tonight, dear Lord, I ask that you continue to bless everyone on this dais. Bless those that are going through it this time in their hour of bereavement or in their time of illness. We thank you in Jesus' name we do pray. And everyone say, Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. At this time, we will move to our public comments. And as always, I always read a caption for you all to govern yourselves accordingly. Citizens wishing to speak during the City Council work session must complete all areas of this form. If you do not sign up to speak prior to the start of this meeting, you will not have an opportunity to speak. Citizens are not allowed to speak openly during the meeting unless first recognized by the presiding officer, typically the mayor. When the presiding officer calls their name, citizens may speak for no more than 3 minutes. Citizens who attend the meeting as a part of a group may not give their time to another member of the group. The presiding officer may stop the person for speaking if the remarks or gestures are profane, abusive, inflammatory, or otherwise offensive. Persons who refuse to stop speaking at the direction of the presiding officer may be escorted from the meeting by a law enforcement officer at the request of the presiding officer. A maximum of 5 citizens will be allowed to speak during any single meeting. Speaking opportunities are first come, first served. The first person we have up to speak tonight is David Ushering. Ms. Usher, if you will, please come to the podium. Speak your name and address for the record.
My name is David Ushery. I'm Battalion Chief of the City of Milledgeville. I live at 576 Nelson Road, Milledgeville, Georgia. I stand before you tonight to speak about one issue. That's fair pay for firefighters, Milledgeville Fire Rescue. Let me be clear. We respect the work and the contributions of every city department. However, council, mayor, city manager, public safety is different. Firefighters accept unique responsibilities. We work long hours. We respond to emergencies at all hours of the day and night and place ourselves in dangerous situations to protect this community. This is our community. Direct comparison between public safety and other city positions simply do not reflect the realities of this profession, Dr. Lee. The facts are clear. We are underpaid. When we compare ourselves to neighboring fire departments, we provided extensive salary data through open record requests of other city municipalities. Chief Collier, his command staff, many of us have spent months gathering accurate information that shows Milledgeville firefighters are not keeping pace with surrounding communities. In addition to being underpaid, we also face serious pay compression. I sent emails out. The problem with our own organization is, within our organization, is pay compression. The difference in compensation between firefighters, company officers, and supervisors has become too narrow. It's too close. A firefighter makes close pay to a sergeant. A sergeant makes too close a pay to a lieutenant. A lieutenant makes too close a pay to a battalion chief. A healthy pay structure should reward experience, leadership, and responsibility. Yet during last week's work session, I left feeling, Mayor, disappointed, frankly insulted. Not because you wouldn't let me speak, I understand. But after years of discussing this, firefighter compensation, hearing that firefighter salaries are being evaluated by simply averaging the surrounding departments, Dr. Wells, it felt like overly simplistic response to a serious, long-standing problem. This issue has been discussed for nearly 8 years. We deserve a more thorough solution. It concerned me even more when it suggested that paying firefighters fairly could create financial pressures that might require, Dr. Wells, they said lay off firefighters if we pay you fairly. In the city of Milledgeville, we're going to lay off firefighters because we might not be able to afford it. If the city's finances are so strong, and we are told they are, why can't we afford to pay us fair? And if the answer is that we cannot afford it, then firefighters, citizens, this community deserves a clear explanation why we can't pay our firefighters. We should not hide behind
Usher, your
excuses.
time
We
is
should
up.
focus on the solutions.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. And when Milledgeville Fire Rescue Services wins, we all win. We all win when we win.
Thank you, Mr. Usher. Next, we have Mr. Gregory Barnes. Please come state your name and address for the records.
All right, come behind that. Gregory Barnes, 3736 Sussex Drive, Milledgeville, Georgia. I'm just here to give my opinion for the ordinance related to the curfew. And I just want to remind you a couple of things. Number one, that while you're considering this, I want y'all to understand that this curfew ordinance will disproportionately affect black and brown teens. Number one, that is, I think that's reasonable for all of us to understand that. And to understand also that majority of the teens that will be affected are not a part of any criminal activity. That's the second thing. Number three, I don't know if you realize, but an ordinance like this will also affect youth 17 to 20, which will also be disproportionately black and brown, because you have given the police the authority to come and ask age. And the only thing they have to say is, well, you look 16. Now they're in the system. Okay, so you are giving them a lot of power to do that. Third, fourth, and I do not see it. I don't see any guardrails to assist the community, i.e., what about some type of community police review panel for all complaints? We have to be able to balance something. If you're going to consider this, you're going to need to have some balance to it. And one of my greatest concerns, I'm from Milledgeville, but I used to live in New York. This is too closely related to stop and frisk. And I don't think we want to go in that direction. Are there things that we should do, or ways to prevent it? You know, people know me, they know I am more proactive rather than reactive. And I've always said some things that we need to begin to work on proactively to address certain circumstances. But I think it's dangerous to be reactive in a situation like that. That's sort of like trying to kill a cockroach by stepping on one or two. You haven't done anything. So please, as you consider this ordinance, please consider those are disadvantages to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. You have the ability to start the clock on. So next we have Mr. Rodney Hines. You will come up and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Council. My name is Rodney Hines. I am a battalion chief from the city of Milledgeville, and I live at 339 Oconee Street, Edenton, Georgia. Dear Council, thank you for allowing me to stand before you and speak. I pray you'll consider my reasoning for approval of the Milledgeville Fire Rescue budget that was presented to you. It reflects the hard work of men and women dedicated to the development of their peers. There are 15 steps we must go through to help our recruits become capable of serving our citizens and stakeholders properly. Number one, chain of command, which is formal authority, which takes about 6 months for a new recruit to understand, because a lot of them could be coming from environments where they didn't have that type of formal authority unless they had someone that they was in the military or family member. Number two, communications, which is information transfer, which takes about 3 months for a new recruit to understand and pick up on the language, the language that we call clear text. Building construction, which is classified of all types of construction material and their resistance to fire, which is going to take the recruit probably the first 3 years to really even grasp all of that, especially get a keen eye to understand what you're looking at. 4, fire dynamics, which is the meeting point between fire science, material science, fluid dynamics of gases, and heat transfer. All that means is they got to understand what they're dealing with when they come into a IDLH environment, which is an immediate danger for life and health. PPE, which is our personal protective equipment that we wear. They have to learn what it is, piece by piece, how to use it in order to keep themselves safe. Fire extinguishers, which has been a key component for us when we going into different environments, especially restaurants. Learning how to tie and utilize ropes and knots, which is key when it comes to rescue, especially high angle rescue, to help people who may be down in a ditch or something like that. Ladders, which is a big help to our rescue operation, because they're going to take a lot of muscle memory and muscle gain, and so we have to get recruits up to par with that. Forcible entry, which is a key component to life safety, because we have to learn how to do it quickly, be efficient with less damage, and with great property conservation. Search and rescue, which is designed to locate and extricate individuals in the stress of danger, which means you have to understand and know where an individual is without even knowing where they're at. Tactical ventilation, which is a systematic and coordinated removal of heat and gases from a structure, which is key in order for us to have keen visibility to get where we need to go during search and rescue operations. Fire hose and hose operations, which is key for us because we need to know exactly when and where and what type of hose that we need in order to help assist us in any operation when it comes to fire suppression or ventilation. Fire suppression, which is the elimination or mitigation of fire using water or specialized chemicals that can help us mitigate a IDLH environment.
Okay, Mr. Hines, the time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person up will be Mr. Rashard Smith. What's that?
My name is Lieutenant Rashad Smith. I live at 107 Village Commons Drive. I represent Milledgeville Fire Department in the city of Milledgeville. The fire service's greatest asset is the talent that populates it. Our training, our certifications, our equipment. It allows us to deliver a quality of service to our city. Market competitiveness to acquire and retain talent. There's so many markets and opportunities available that it is vital that we stay competitive to produce the best product that we can so we can continue to serve the city of Milledgeville at a level and standard of excellence. Our product is safety. Our product is to reduce your insurance costs by having the best ISO rating. By allowing us a bigger budget, we'll be able to obtain new firefighters, retain firefighters, and provide new hires with the best quality training to implement these new techniques for the city of Milledgeville. We have lost great firefighters to outside opportunities. We need to keep great quality service workers in our city. The best way to do that is to at the least pay our public service workers market value for their worth. We work 24 hours, sometimes 48 hours, to provide safety at all hours of the day and all hours of the night to serve our city. We're away from our families. We don't know if we're coming home. We can at least provide a more substantial financial support to our loved ones, just in case we have to give the greatest sacrifice for our community, which is our lives. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen of this council, we are here for you, and we ask for you to allow us to have a better quality of living raised by passing this legislation. We need to be rewarded for the work that we do and for the work that still needs to be done for our city. This opportunity allows us to open the door for advanced training and to be able to bring that training back to our department and implement it into our standard of operating procedures. We have a quality of standard that is very high, but with a bigger budget, we can increase that quality of safety that we bring to our city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Corinthians Dennis.
Everybody from the fire service stand up. Let's show that we're in solidarity today.
Okay,
And
so
we're
we just
united.
need you to speak on 3-minute topics because your 3 minutes are rolling, okay?
Yes,
They,
go.
I mean, need them to sit down in the
Okay,
audience
go
because there's
ahead,
other
guys.
people
Appreciate
here
y'all.
to see what's going on as well.
First of all, I come as a country boy from Edenton, Georgia. Got my little Butler Bakers alumni shirt up under here. But I come to speak from the heart, not from any papers. We just got through praying to God. I consider myself a God-fearing man myself. I remember a man of God was telling me a lot of Christians got their nose in the air at a lot of older Christians because they may have did this and did that. And you start pulling that string on the lawnmower. He gave an example, a parable of pulling a lawnmower string. And we pulling a lawnmower string. Everybody know the case study in Milledgeville. We've been doing it for 30 years. University of Georgia been doing that case study. We all know this. Guys I looked at coming up, Lee Braswell, the guys that served in our community, that gave their life, sweat, blood, and tears at their fire department. 3 and 4 jobs just to put food on their family table. Let that resonate in your heart today. A lot of these guys are gone now. Don't even know what they came in contact with. That's the kind of stuff your firefighter's dealing with every day. A lot of people think we over here eating Cheetos, watching TV, but you're dealing with something every day. You're on alert every day. Your life on the line when you put that pair of pants on, if y'all know it or not. Yeah, because you never know. A lot of us guys like me, Captain Brad, we've seen a lot of things. We've seen that wreck over here off of the railroad track. We see a lot of stuff. We go through a lot of stuff. It's like a slap in the face every time we come here and pull that lawnmower string every year. I thought I would never get to the point where I'm at now. I see myself having a bad attitude at work, different things like that, negative. I thought I would never get to that point. But I remember that parable. You pull that string long enough, you might get fed up too. So just think about that. But the main thing, we may have different opinions. We may have different things that we're looking at in different ways. You might be seeing it another way. But the whole purpose is to make the city of Milledgeville better. We may have different opinions, but our whole directive is to make the city of Milledgeville Baldwin better. And we have been too long been underpaid, and that's just the bottom line. Let that resonate, and I hope everybody take that in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jennings. All right. This time we're going to move on with our meeting. You all have received a copy of the June 2nd, 2026 council work session minutes. Are there any corrections or amendments that need to be made? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the June 2nd, 2026 work session minutes?
So move.
We have a motion and a second. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Mapp, Ms. Pendergast,
Aye.
Dr. Wells, Ms. Shinholster.
Aye.
The motion carries and the minutes are approved. You have all received a copy of the May 26th, 2026 council meeting minutes. Are there any corrections or amendments that need to be made? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the May 26th, 2026 work session minutes?
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Simmons, Ms. Mapp, Ms. Pendergast, Dr. Wells, Ms. Shinholster.
Aye.
The motion carries and the minutes are approved. As far as the mayor's comments tonight, I don't have any that I will be making. So at this time, we'll move to the city manager's report, and I will recognize Ms. Hilson Butts.
Good afternoon. I would just like to wish all the fathers an early happy Father's Day. Other than that, I don't have any comments.
Thank you. We will now move to old business tonight, which is a part of the agenda. We have 2 public hearings to conduct tonight, all of which relates to land use. The procedure for conducting all of the public hearings will be as follows. Once it has been determined that the public hearing has been properly posted and advertised, the clerk will read the proposed amendment to the Land Development Code. We will then hear a report from Planning and Zoning Administrator, including the advisory decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Council will first hear from the applicant and anyone who wishes to speak in favor of the amendment. We will then hear from anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to the amendment. If anyone speaks in opposition to the amendment, we will then give the applicant an opportunity for rebuttal. But the rebuttal must be limited to the points or issues raised by the opposition. We will then give the opposition the opportunity to speak to the rebuttal. They too must limit to the points or issues raised. Please make sure that before you speak, that you come to the podium and give your name and address for the record. Anyone wishing to speak on a matter is encouraged to do so, but comments must remain relevant, concise, and polite. The first public hearing is for 394 Broad Street. Madam Clerk, has this public hearing been properly posted and advertised?
Yes.
I will ask the clerk to read ordinance O-2603-12 by caption.
Ordinance O-2603-12. Conduct a public hearing of an ordinance amending the Land Development Code to rezone approximately 0.94 acres from OI Office Institutional to SFR1, Single Family Residential 1. Property is located at 394 Broad Street, Central State, Baldwin County, tax map 072-00163. The property is owned by Terry Willie. The property will be used for residence.
I will recognize Mr. Barneswell, the zoning administrator, for a report at this time.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Well, this was first brought before planning and zoning on April 6th, but they didn't have a quorum that day, so it was tabled. It was brought back again successfully before planning and zoning on May 4th. The motion passed, all in favor, 4-0. I yield my time to Miss Willie for her comments.
Thank you all for having me. I'm Dr. Terry Willie, and I'm at 105 Coventry Court Northeast, Milledgeville. And that house sat on the market for, I believe, a year and a half, and I think the reason why it didn't sell is because it was occupational institutional, and there's not much happening down there on Broad Street for that any longer, but I'm trying to restore the house back to its glory. I'm in love with the house. I've put tons of money into it. I'm still putting gobs of money into it, so I'd like to change it to single-family residential.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who's wants to speak in favor of this? That was the applicant, was Ms. Terry. So is there anybody here that wants to speak in favor of the applicant's request? Is there anyone here that wants to speak in opposition to the amendment? Are there any questions or comments for council? Seeing that we don't have anybody speaking in opposition. All right, this concludes the presentation of evidence in this public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Need a second.
Second.
I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wills?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
Right. Second public hearing is for 2747 North Columbia Street. Madam Clerk, has this public hearing been properly posted and advertised?
Yes.
I will ask the clerk to read ordinance O-2604-13 by caption.
Ordinance O-2604-13. Conduct a public hearing of an ordinance amending the charter to accept approximately 1.56 acres of land into the corporate limits of the city of Milledgeville with a zoning of HC, heavy commercial. The property is located at 2747 North Columbia Street, Baldwin County, tax map 085, parcel 045, and is owned by Wilson Keenan. Mr. Keenan plans to use the property as a manufactured home dealership.
I will recognize the zoning administrator for a report at this time.
This was brought before planning and zoning on May 4th. They had several residents speak in opposition to the zoning. Most commented on the traffic snag that the moving of the mobile homes would create. The residents had 162 signatures in opposition. One board member pointed out that there was a mobile home dealership in the past there, so what was the difference now? Another question that was raised about the access of North Columbia Street, as it was noted that why did it have to be on Longleaf instead of North Columbia? And the recommendation is because GDOT recommendation, you have to have a deceleration lane, and that's a lot of paperwork. It was a highly contested, but the motion passed 3-1. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Barneswell. I'll remind anyone who wishes to speak to come to the podium, state your name. At this time, we'll hear from those. That's what I was going to say. Thank you. I was asking for the applicant. Sir, are you the applicant? I need the applicant to come forward to the podium and state your name and address.
I'm Brian Gillis, the general manager for Georgia Home Center. I reside on 744 South Steel Bridge Road, Eatonton. We purchased the property from the previous owner who did use it as a mobile home dealership. We applied to annex it into the city so we could use city utilities, and we had applied for a driveway to be put onto Longleaf there for easier access to make the traffic flow smoother. That's kind of all I got for you right this minute.
Okay, that's fine. Is there anyone here wishing to speak in favor of the amendment? Okay, is there anyone present who would like to speak in opposition to the amendment? Please come to the podium and state your name and address.
My name is Chris Medilli. I live at 131 Quail Place Northeast in Pine Ridge. And I would like to make a motion to reschedule this meeting and this hearing. Number one, we formally request that the Planning and Zoning Commission halt the application until an independent traffic engineer conducts a comprehensive TIS specifically analyzing the Longleaf Trail bottleneck. TIS is a traffic impact study, for those of you who did not know that. Number two, we'd like to review the local comprehensive plan of the city of Milledgeville to see if utilizing residential secondary roads for heavy commercial access violates city planning policies regarding neighborhood stabilization and buffered zoning transactions. So, number three, under Georgia law, O.C.G.A 36-36-11, I would like the city to file an unofficial, unreasonable burden objection to trigger a state-mandated arbitration panel. What that means, that forces a legal pause on the city's ability to vote. Number four, we need a binding site plan on a scaled engineering drawing providing that they can fit the mandatory 40-foot rear vegetative screening buffer, stormwater retention, and required vehicle parking setbacks on a 1.56 acre layout. If they cannot fit, the rezoning is invalid. The bottom line, this means under Georgia law, this meeting is not permitted to go forward. It is paused until proper documents, TIS, which is the traffic impact study, and the comprehensive plan have been addressed. Thank you for letting me hear me.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. Is there anyone else that wants to speak in favor of the amendment? Comes.
Am I allowed to bring a poster?
No, we still gotta let the people that's speaking, and, they can do it.
Opposition,
No, just,
You can bring the poster.
yeah, right here.
can?
Yeah, they were just
Wanna
having a
speak in favor?
discussion.
Pardon?
Yeah, you can bring the poster.
Yeah,
That was in opposition.
okay. All right, so is there anyone else who want to speak in opposition
This
to the
gentleman's gonna-
amendment?
He's coming.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Can I set it right here?
You can.
Y'all can view it?
Is that for us to view, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay, kind of turn it so we can see it. Step back a little bit with it, though, 'cause go back just a little bit, so,
Back a little
yeah,
bit?
so they can see it. Absolutely, thank you.
Or you can set it up here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
I need to point. Can I stand here?
I need you to go to the podium station, and can you all see?
You want to set it right here?
Can this,
Sit it
I
up.
don't have to see. I'm good.
yeah. There you go.
Good to be here tonight. Scott Salter, 116 Quail Place. I also live in Pine Ridge. And our concern is genuine to the heart, and there's a lot involved in it. A lot of legalities, a lot of safety. Safety, remember that, because I'm going to point it out in the poster right here. As you see in the poster right there, you see 441 north and south, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you see Longleaf. You see Longleaf right there? Okay, you see the red over there with the X on it. That turns into the existing mobile home dealership location today. On the other side of the road, crossed out, you'll see the proposed, or the issue at hand. I think exactly how I worded that. Okay, so that's where they want to stock new inventory. But they want to use that road right there, and I want to point it out to make sure that we understand this. This road right here is there now. They want to widen that road at 60 feet, okay? All right, that right there is coming off of 441. That would be great, okay? All right, that would be great right there now. And the reason I say that, y'all can see it, everybody can see it, is because Longleaf, used to be Longleaf Trail, okay, is not an industrial boulevard. It is not commercial. That road was built for everybody that lives back in here on Quail Place, Turkey Run, every road back there. All right? Now, we're not Northwoods. We don't have the big fancy houses, swimming pools. We're just people that get by. Okay? And we want to be treated like everybody else. Now, I'm not making accusations. I'm just saying that for the record, okay? So, what's happening here on this road, when they turn in with the mobile homes, I got 24 years experience with mobile homes. I worked at Horton Homes. I got 2 tore up knees with that. When they turn in here, they come into here. They come in with their trucks, their concrete blocks, their axles, all that stuff that goes along with it, along setting up a mobile home, because you got to somewhat set it up when they park it over here. They got a single wide and a double wide over here right now. Okay? I've been there the other day. They pulled into here and they went through this. Guess what they done? They tore down the communications cable, the fiber optic cable on May the 20th and May the 21st. They took out communication to everybody back there. It took roughly 3 days from the time of restoration and complete to get everything back up where all the utility trucks were going. That consists of the Georgia Power and these other, the cable places, Spectrum, and I think Pike was out there working on it. So all these trucks were lined up right here. Cable comes down. Hey, what's it, so what's up with that, You gonna let them come in here and do that all over again? They need to stay off of our, bottom line, they need to stay off of our road. This is a residential road. And all this is from here and the edges of it, as Chris showed, is being torn up by heavy equipment. Okay? And when I say heavy equipment, sometimes it takes a dozer to pull a mobile home into place. It takes a toter, these little short trucks you see, that pull these houses. And on the back of that house, it's got a big old huge hydraulic jack that goes up and down, and it goes east and west when they set the house up. That thing weighs a lot. and they're tearing up all this road. Oh, they put some gravel in there, you know, and everything, but it still goes away. It still goes away, and then not counting the screws and the nails and everything else. Now, that's what we're putting up with this on this side of the road, but we don't want to double our trouble over here. You come over here and you start doing the same thing you've done over here, you're talking about 60% more an increase on that side of the street. 60% more. We got elderly people that live back in our neighborhood. Some of them may have to get to the doctor. Woman might be pregnant. She's fitting to have a child. But we can't get out because that double wide and single wide is backing up in here. And then guess what? They got a blockage up here. And y'all know how traffic is in Milledgeville. I don't have to tell nobody. They coming down there, somebody's going to get killed. We're already having trouble with Publix down there. You know? So that's the safety part of it. And to get back to something else over here, okay, over here on this existing place, down at the bottom of it, there's a mobile home that looks like it's condemned, you know? But it's just parked over there. It's just, you know, it needs to be burned up. It really does.
Morning.
Chris will show you a picture here.
Took this morning.
This is not good. We don't want this coming in here. We don't need that coming in there. And I'll tell you something else too to add to that. John Millage has an escape route. Escape route. Okay, I'll say it right. There's a gate back there. If something happens to John Millage and they can't get out on Log Cabin, guess what? There's a gate back here. Mayor, I think you know that. There's a gate back here that opens up. And guess where they go? They hop on Quail Place and they jump on Long Trail right here. That's the funnel out of there. They can get out there quick. If something happened, if some fool got back there and gonna shoot everybody up, get in your cars and get out of there. Well, we can't get out Log Cabin. Well, you can get out right here. You can open the gate and get out. It's right behind the baseball field. Okay? That's the thing about it. If it's blocked, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? That's my concern. It's not my gripe. I'm not trying to be some idiot up here. Yeah? I'm saying that's my concern, and I'm passionate about safety. All right? I've seen things happen. I worked at Horton Homes 24 years. I worked at Georgia Power 21 years. I know what safety is all about, and I know the potential of things that can happen. If I say, "Oh, we'll make the traffic flow real good right here," no, no, that ain't getting, you know. That ain't getting, you know. It's like, you know, this is not going to work. This is a residential road. They can do that. Coming off of 441. But does everybody, ask y'all a question, does everybody see, can you vision your mind, you know, by looking at that? I hope you can. Can y'all see over there? This. I try to make it, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? I don't know about my drawing, but it might be worth 100 words, you know? But, and I hope everybody, if y'all want to see that. And I speak for all my neighbors, all my sweet brothers and sisters back in there. I know, I've been back there a long time. I know a lot of them. Little kids get in the road, I go up there, I don't care who the mom and dad's are. Hey, come here. You don't need to get in this road, you know. I think we got some speed bumps coming, and we need them. But I care about my neighborhood back there. And I care about the future of my neighborhood. And I hope you listen, and hope you listen with not the blinders on, but with a broad aspect, and take it in and make a good decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. All right, is there a rebuttal for anyone who wants to speak in, wait a minute. Is there anyone who wants to speak against the amendment?
I think he said it's
Wait a minute, are you already spoke in favor
I made
of?
a motion to adjourn this meeting and until
Sir,
further notice.
You can't do that, sir.
You don't have the
can't do
authority to
that.
make that motion. You can propose it for
I proposed
council
it,
to
and I
consider.
got the Georgia law statute written here.
Got it right here myself.
Okay. because if I knew this was going to continue, I have a speech here too about why I object to it. And I would like 2 or 3 minutes of your time if you don't mind.
So, sir, you've already spoken one time, Mr. Jordan.
That's up to you, Mayor.
Okay, because we have such.
With all
you
due
know,
respect, Mayor, you know, we vote for you and all this stuff. We support you. I would like 2 or 3 minutes of your time.
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, sir.
All right, you got it.
2 minutes. And the clock is ticking.
Our primary most urgent concern is the proposed traffic access off Longleaf Trail. Longleaf Trail is a secondary local road. It was designed to handle residential traffic, local families and daily commuters, not heavy commercial transit vehicles. You saw the pictures. That whole road is destroyed, that whole entranceway. Forcing commercial access on the local trails will instantly turn a quiet local roadway into a dangerous high-traffic cut-through. This introduces severe safety hazards for everybody. Longleaf's trail lanes and the turning radius and the pavement thickness were simply not engineered to withstand the weight of volume of heavy commercial operations. The rezoning creates a dangerous precedent of industrial creep into our neighborhood boundaries. It places an unfair infrastructure strain on city water, sewer, and stormwater systems that we already have problems with, while forcing local taxpayers to foot the bill for the resulting road wear and tear. If the council approves this annexation, you're effectively voting to allow city-zoned commercial profits to degrade county and neighborhood-level infrastructure. In conclusion, we ask the commission to listen to the residents who actually live here. We had 100 and some petitions signed at the last meeting, not knowing that it was going to come to this, and I'm here representing them. We urge you to deny this rezoning and annexation request. At the very least, if any development moves forward, we demand a strict binding condition of zoning and legally prohibits any commercial or delivery access via Longleaf Trail. There is no reason that you can't access it from North Columbia, which is the address of that property. It wasn't read in the minutes, but the petitioner was caught in a lie saying he didn't have access off of North Columbia. That was a lie. It just costs more money because you have to get the state involved and pay the extra money. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Dillon. All right. Are there any questions or comments from council, or did I miss somebody?
Yeah.
Is there a rebuttal from anyone who spoke in opposition to the amendment? Are there any questions or comments from council?
Well, yes, Mayor, if you don't mind. Due to all this new information and to be able to speak with the city attorney, I would like to suggest tabling it to a later date.
That will, you can make them, when the mayor calls for the question, you can make a motion to table it.
Okay.
I have a question, Madam Mayor. My first question is for the owner, for you. Now, my question to you is just based on his diagram and not knowing, is there a driveway that comes directly off of 441 that you could possibly turn into? So you would have to request a cut from DOT in order to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Go ahead.
I would like to ask, and Ms. Shinholz has already asked, there's not a driveway. Would you consider putting a driveway there?
I mean, if that's what you told me to do, but the whole reason I'm here today was because we was understanding the property's in the county and it's already being used as that. So
Right.
I could continue to use it as what it's been being for the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I was going to put an office building there and try to use your utilities.
Right.
So that's the only reason why we're even here trying to annex it. I can still use that property for
Right.
what it's being used for now.
Correct.
I was just trying to do something a little bit different and upscale the
Then,
property.
mhm.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, I understand their concerns, and I'm not trying to be that guy because I do understand what they're saying to a point. But it's still, we still own the property and we still can use it.
Right.
Because I know when we did a first read on this, when I wrote by, I thought, that's already
It's been there for 25, 30
mobile
years, being that
home,
the dealership
dealership.
used it for the same thing I can use it for
Right.
now. So
So I commend you for wanting to annex into the city. And you would have to get permission from DOT to do another cut on 441. That may take a while.
yeah, that's
That's not something that they easily do once places are already established. They are not going to grant a permit. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. We never know when. But with them having granted those down below us for Publix, I'm not sure if you would really be able to get a permission from DOT to cut a driveway right there in front of you.
and we did have an engineered site plan done for a new driveway and everything, and turned it over to the city before all this process started. So yeah, we did go have everything laid out and by an engineer and designed us a driveway to come in to make the traffic flow smoother coming off of Longleaf there. So all that has been turned in previously.
Okay. Mr. Barnwell, while he's standing, can you answer any questions about that as to where that site plan, where it stands, the one that they submitted?
Well, as far as the site plan goes, it has to go before DOT, and they have to do a calculation as far as the acceleration lane. We have enough footage for it. And they didn't believe there was enough footage for that, so that's why it's not a acceleration lane.
Okay.
You're talking about the site plan.
Site plan.
That they
Well,
submitted
the-
to you guys.
yeah.
For the driveway plan,
Yes.
So it's not?
It's not, is what you're saying, it's
There's not
not.
enough footage on that front of North Columbia for the acceleration
For
lane.
deceleration lane.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So it wouldn't support the footage for it.
So they wouldn't do it then if
No,
that's
ma'am.
the case.
Dr. Wells, trying to address him, acknowledge him.
Thank you, Mayor. So it's my understanding from the citizens who oppose this amendment and bringing the property, the 1.56 acres, into the corporate limits of the city, is that there may be, or there will be, in the estimation of the citizens, destruction on Longleaf Lane. However, if there was another entrance, as we've been discussing here, that opposition would fail
What opposition are you?
to this. So
to
my
whom?
Mayor, what I'm hearing is that the main opposition to this is the usage of Longleaf Lane.
Right.
Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct.
Are we further to understand from what Mr. Barnwell just said?
That's
that-
incorrect.
Sir, wait a minute. Sir, please have a seat. You're out of order right now. We're trying to discuss it from the council, and you've had your say. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So from the discussion that just took place between Councilman Holster and Brian and Mr. Barnwell, the hope of getting that access, and I appreciate the gentleman bringing the diagram in, the hope for getting that access from 441 or North Columbia, that's probably going to be futile, isn't it?
That's a lie. Next door is another mobile home place.
Wait a minute, wait, 1 second, Mr. Dillons, you can't speak out like that.
Sorry,
But I understand your passion, sir. Sir, I understand your passion.
Okay.
But, you know, we have to let everybody speak. I've given you all your opportunity to speak in favor of and those to come in and rebuttal. Now it's council time. They're asking questions so that we can move on with this. I think Ms. Mapp, were you saying something, Ms. Mapp? So let me know. He clarified that for you. All right. Mr. Jordan, my question for you, what he brought up about a motion, you said to Ms. Simmons that when I got further down for a vote or something, that's when she can motion
Well,
or ask for
if the discussion phase of this is concluded, then you would ask to entertain a motion, and if Ms. Simmons chose to have a motion to table, that would be a motion that you would consider before the motion to either approve or disapprove of this zoning application. The information, this 363611 that got referenced is actually a mechanism that the legislature put in place to govern between counties and cities where there is an annexation, obviously into the city, the surrounding properties have to be conducive to that if and in the event the county were to object. You know, the county did not object to this annexation. But if the county objects to the annexation, for whatever reason, it's going to be rezoned to something that the other parts of the county adjacent to that property and adjoining to that property are not consistent with, then of course there's a process in 3611 that cities and counties have to follow to try to resolve that dispute where there is that dispute, I guess, best way to put it.
Thank you for the clarification, Councilman. This concludes the presentation of evidence in this public hearing. You have a question, Ms. Shinosa?
I do have a question before we move on further. So are there any particular requirements that we could make of the owner as far as the street, or I noticed that the street looks like it's gravel and it's not paved for heavy equipment or heavy machinery to come on it. Could that be a requirement that we make of the
to have the applicant
make sure that the padding for which if there's no way that they'll be able to get new cuts right there from DOT from the highway.
Correct.
And there is already a deceleration lane that leads the part of it for the other dealership that's already there.
Correct.
And so that's why, and I'm thinking that's why they're using Longleaf Trail, is because they don't have access any other way. Can this council require that perhaps they because they're bringing in heavier equipment on our city street, pay for the
sure
paving to be appropriate for what's needed?
The zoning ordinance allows you to approve the zoning or the rezoning with stipulations.
With stipulations.
And any type of just like the larger driveway, which they've already agreed that they're going to do. I think there was some mention about some setbacks and so forth. All of that's going to be required anyway.
Okay.
Regardless of, you don't have to take any action on that. But if you're doing something like you're talking about, if you're going to require some paving work and all on that street as part of this rezoning, then sure.
And not at the taxpayer's expense, that's what.
No, at the applicant's expense.
Right. So if we agree to table it and then give us enough time to make a decision as to what we would require in addition to that, and to make sure that we know that they won't be able to get access from 441, then that would give us enough time, am I right?
Sure, and you could consult with the planning department and as about the requirements of how much footage of paving you want down Longleaf. Obviously, I would think you would want to come at least past the driveway.
Absolutely.
And I assume that would be the case. But you could get some of that input if you chose to table it for that reason. It would come back to at our next regular meeting.
Regular council meeting.
And all of the, it wouldn't be a new public hearing. That's taking place tonight, but it would be a deliberation by this body, then a vote whether to approve or deny.
Okay.
With those stipulations.
Okay.
So, go ahead, Dr. Wood.
Question. So you were saying that maintenance should already have been done on the road there. You were saying that there shouldn't be an additional something done?
No, I was responding to Ms. Shinholster that if council, of course, the talk first is whether to table it in order to
Right.
to determine what else needs to be done by the applicant
Okay, gotcha.
for the
Assurance to
road,
do
for
it.
the road and all. And,
So, Mr. Jordan, and you, I also heard him say about the uses that they're already under the county. Even though we table it, he still has the right to use the county's guidelines. Is that what you're saying as well?
yeah, it's in the county right now,
Mhm.
and it is a mobile home dealership as such. And now I'm not familiar with all the county's regulations, but I'm assuming that it could continue, that the applicant is correct, it can continue to be used as a mobile home retail dealership.
But what about the city street and with the wear and tear on the city street? If it were not annexed,
Well,
that's a different thing.
I think there's nothing that I'm aware of you could do to force the applicant to pave the street if the applicant's not bringing that into the city of Milledgeville. You're doing it as a condition of the
Being in the city.
Right.
annexation and
That would be
zoning.
the best thing to do.
And the ordinance allows that to be done. You probably need some specifications. Again, the planning department needs to provide you with, so we can describe in your motion, if that's what you choose to do, we can describe in your motion, how much paving we're requiring and, from the length of it and obviously the width. He's, again, already committed on the driveway being enlarged. I assume that's big enough. Planning can provide some input on that too.
Okay. So that would be in our motion when we bring it back.
When it
to
comes
council.
back to you for your consideration, deliberation again.
Right.
It will not be another public hearing.
Right. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
the new
Sure.
people understood where we were going with that.
So is everybody on council understanding what has been stated as far as motioning votes and moving forward with what we're not or what are going to do? Y'all understand that?
May, a question for you. So as Ms. Simmons, if she makes a motion to table, that's all that has to be is a motion to table, and then we have the space to figure out how, as Ms. Shinholster has said, we propose our motion at the next meeting. Is that correct?
That is
Make
correct.
the motion, though, still we have to give a second on that motion,
Well,
correct?
yeah, there'll have to be a motion to table, a second, and a vote by this body
Okay.
Okay.
on the motion to table.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, this concludes the presentation of the evidence in this public hearing. Is there a motion? Ms.
I
Simmons?
do provide a motion to table item number 02604-13 for further review.
I'll second.
All right, it's been motioned and properly second. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
All right, thank you. I will ask, sir, we're already done with that. I just closed out on that, so you,
Just want a clarification. If it's tabled, does he have access, being that the zoning hasn't changed, does he still have access from Longleaf Trail or not?
yes, sir, he's still in the
Those
county
are
right
drivable.
now. He's still in the
Okay.
county as of now.
That's what I wanted to know.
Okay. I'll ask the clerk to read ordinance O-2605-17 by caption.
Excuse me. Ordinance O-2605-17, an ordinance to amend Chapter 62 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Milledgeville, Georgia, to add a new section 62-20 to establish a curfew for minors under the age of 16 and for other purposes.
Is there any discussion? Do I hear a motion to adopt the ordinance O-2605-17?
Mayor, I do have a question if you don't mind.
Okay, so right now,
We need.
go ahead. I'm gonna let her go
Discussion.
to get her question before we.
You want to do the discussion first right now?
Well, I would like to get the motion and second, then we'll go into discussion, and you'll be able to ask your question.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay.
So do I hear a motion on this ordinance? Don't be shy, I need somebody to motion it. Either we're going to or we're not, something second, and second it.
Well, I'll make a motion that for discussion purposes only at this time.
For discussion purposes, yeah, second.
Okay, the second, you second that, Ms.
Simmons.
Oh,
Ms.
Dr. Lee, okay. I'm looking
Lee,
at it.
okay.
All right, is there any discussion? Now you can ask your question, Ms. Simmons.
Well, there's valid concerns. Mr. Gregory Barnes brought up a few that I did want to question as well, related to the underserved community and how that will affect people of color, and how it would affect children ages 17 to 20, and will this be a mirror to the stop and frisk ordinance? As we know, that has had a lot of issues in the past, and City Attorney, I would like for you to give us a clearer picture on how this could reflect the stop and frisk, if it could reflect one.
Yeah, I don't, obviously, our police chief can speak to that. I can tell you that under this ordinance, once it is determined that my purpose as a child is violating this ordinance under the age of 16, so they're 15,
Right.
15 or under, then that is going to authorize the officer to initially a warning, authorize the officer to return the child to his or her home, which will necessarily require a search of that child to make sure that there is nothing that can endanger the officer or, quite frankly, the child. That first time is a warning, and then subsequent, then of course, the child is referred to juvenile, basically in the discretion of the officer, and then whether or not the parent or the legal guardian of the child is going to be cited. So there's going to be a warning under this ordinance, and then a second time probably would involve juvenile court and the parent or the guardian of the child to have to come to municipal court.
Okay, is there anything in here that will, let's say if they're walking, and are they going to ask for ID? Children in this age usually don't have the IDs, and I think that is the issue, that if you look young, how would we determine, I don't see anything in here, how to determine those ages fairly quickly without having to.
No, that's clearly going to be in the discretion of the officer to determine whether or not the child is under age. Obviously, if the child is not under age, and I mean under age, under 16, then there's not going to be, there's not a violation. If the child is 16 or older, now we do have, children 16 and over that are driving have a class driver's license that does not allow them to be out, I think, after midnight. But for purposes of this ordinance, this curfew, the officer, obviously is going to have to question the child. If the officer, in his or her best judgment, believes the child to be under 16.
Okay, let me ask a question, because My problem with this is the section 20-3 that has the daytime curfew. And between 8:30 and 2:30, I saw some kids walking to the library the other day. And you mean to tell me they're not going to be allowed to do that? Or we're saying that we're not going to allow kids to get out and when they need to be playing or doing other things or going to the park? I see kids all the time going across Jefferson Street over to Hewley Park in the daytime between these hours. This is the part that I disagree with. I understand because all of us that watch the news, we know how things can get out of hand. For instance, like Atlantic Station in Atlanta and the situation that happened not too long ago at Buffalo Wild Wings when minor children were just taking over the business and hanging all outside and everywhere and taking over at the mall. Parents need to know where children under 16 are when it's dark and when it's at night. And I don't have an issue with holding parents responsible for that. But they should know where their kids are at all times. But to say that children can't be out walking or at such places between the hours of 8:30 if
On school days.
Yeah, I know it says on school days, but then what happens in the summertime when they're out of school?
Well, that's not a school day.
Mhm.
So this section would not apply unless unless a child is.
What about those that are homeschooled that are out and then during school, I see lots and lots of students downtown walking on a school day during the day. So how is that going to?
It's going to be in the
work with
discretion
this?
of the officer to determine what the child is, under this ordinance.
Mhm.
This is an ordinance that has been proposed by our police chief.
Mhm.
And we took it and looked at several other local governments that have similar curfew ordinances and tried to model it as closely to them. The only difference is most of these other jurisdictions have under 18 as the cutoff. We had to do under 16 because, and this was unbeknownst to me, as familiar as I am with our charter, there's a provision in our charter that says that you as a body have the authority to impose a curfew on children under the age of 16. So we changed this to under the age of 16. Like I said, most jurisdictions have under the age of 18.
Right.
But in talking with Chief Swikard, he felt like that police department had enough control through this licensing provision of Georgia law to handle 16 and 17 age groups. I think his preference would have been to have under 18, as most other jurisdictions do. But I don't think under our charter that you have the authority at this time to do it. Now, the charter can be amended at some point if that's what you choose to do, if you pass this ordinance.
So, Mr. Jordan, let me interject. And as Chief spoke to the news media, this is not going to be just riding up on a child and stopping and saying, "Oh, wait a minute, you're out of place." It's going to be case by case. If someone calls in and reports that a child is out underage, then they would go and they would, take care of the issue. It does not mean that they're going to stop, search, frisk any child. It doesn't mean that it's just going to be directed at black, brown. It's everybody, every child. If they're parked at the mall, as they so often do in the big trucks, that means they're going to go up there and tell them the same thing. The hours are Monday through Thursday, 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. We got a kind of conflict in schedule in there, but he also shared that if it's church, school related, any of those type organizations, and my input there was, I would think that we would have supervision some type of supervision would be with those students out at that particular time. So I don't want us to get into, trying to just totally throw it out the water because we want to direct it towards a certain group of children or not. But we need to look at the overall picture of what you all, as a council, has decided you want to do with us coming back and doing some amendments.
Now, I don't have an issue with midnight curfews. The daytime is a little scary because
That's why it's 5 a.m.
the daytime is a little scary because it's 8:30 to 2:30. I myself have a young son that looks way younger than his age, and he's homeschooled, and he does walk to the library throughout the day, and I would not want him to be stopped and frisked at any given time just because he is homeschooled going to a library. However, I do understand what is happening at night, middle of the night, and the reason why the chief wants an ordinance. I'm just not feeling the daytime and not knowing if this will be a way to just stop and frisk any old child just because he looks young, and how would we ensure that won't be happening?
And of course, this ordinance, that section addresses homeschooling.
I understand, but I understand that I read all of those items A through G. It's still a little weary to know that during the day my son is homeschooled and he could be going to the library just to do his report.
Can I ask a question? My understanding is that the protection for homeschooled children would only be after they've already been stopped and asked questions, right? Like they would identify themselves as a homeschooled child, and at that point they would be allowed to go. But they're still potentially being stopped, and that's what I understand to be the concern with the stop and frisk measure. And like
That is how this works. Doesn't mean that's how it, I guess there's maybe another option. I'd have to defer to the police chief as to, in his department, as to what they expect to at a hand of this. I would think that if a police officer had a concern about a homeschool child that needed some confirmation, that the police officer would make contact with that child's parent and confirm that that child is homeschooled.
That's what he stated.
I think in practice it's going to be, from what I hear, it's going to be more like what the mayor has described, and that is it's a tool to be utilized when there are complaints. We don't have, I think the chief would agree with this, we don't have the staffing at the police department to patrol children with everything else that is having to be patrolled. But again, you may want to hear from the police department as to how they plan to approach this and so forth. We were just asked to draw the ordinance.
Right.
As
So I would
within the criteria that we were given.
Yeah, so I would suggest, Mr. Jordan, for council, for all their concerns, if they don't want to approve this tonight, table it, okay?
And you may want to
bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mayor Copeland, may I ask a question of our city attorney?
Sure.
Mr. Jordan, and I'm asking this purely for informational purposes, not to actually weigh in on the pro or con here. At this current time, on June 9th, 2026, does a city of Milledgeville police officer have the authority to stop and ask questions of what looks to be a visibly 10 or 11-year-old child walking down the street in downtown Milledgeville at 2 o'clock in the morning? Does he have or she have that right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
In fact, it would probably be considered a dereliction of his duty if he or she did not.
Second part of that question, if I may, Mayor.
Sure.
The same officer sees on May the 1st, it's a Tuesday, school is in session. All 3 in the county are in session. a student walking down the street at 10 a.m. in the morning, does he or she have the right to stop and ask questions of that student currently?
Yes, because we have, in addition, put the curfew aside, we have truancy laws.
Right.
That the Board of Ed, not speaking for them, but just from what I read, has become very aggressive. The Baldwin County Board of Ed has become very aggressive.
And again, that was just for purely informational to
Sure.
ask if that was true or false, not to sway the argument either way.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I wanna
So
hear
basically,
everybody.
we have things, we already have things in place. This is just something.
Usually,
I'd like to hear from the police chief, though, me personally, about how they would go about doing this, and then, how the jurisdiction of the courts, how that would be forwarded on to court before we make a decision, before I make a decision, let me just put it like that. That's just me.
If you table it, you
Yeah.
will need to, the person that made the motion for discussion purposes, Ms. Shinholster, would need to withdraw that motion. And then if there's somebody that wants to put a motion to table on the floor, then they would need to do that. But right now, there's a motion on the floor
Right.
to approve.
Mayor, can I ask the attorney a question? So can we go along with this if we should and take out section 20-3?
Yeah, you guys can, again, what I would suggest is that you talk to the police chief and police department, and if there's something that you want to change, then if you table it and we come back at our next council meeting, and then you will have an opportunity to amend this proposed ordinance, however you feel.
So right now I can make a motion to withdraw the first motion.
Once I,
Well, Ms. Shinholster made the motion.
You're gonna have to make, okay.
I have to make a motion to withdraw my motion.
Mel, did you have an sorry. I reached out to Ms. Hilson Butts earlier this afternoon. I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to look over what I'd asked you about. But I reached out to see what measures we already have in place to help support the families, because my understanding is that we're concerned about there being children late at night and not having like parental oversight. But I think that could be an issue that we could address rather than in a punitive manner, just by outreach and working with families to figure out what's going on. And I'm not sure personally what structures we have in place to do that, and furthermore, like what structures we could develop together to make that.
so here again, we have a motion on the table. Let's get the motion.
Okay.
If y'all decide to put it in table, all that information will come up. You'll be able to get what you need.
Okay.
And have a clear decision process for yourself, the way you want to vote. Because I tell everybody, your vote is your vote. You represent your district, so you need to show your district how you voted up on these times. All right, so the motion's on the table.
Well, we've drawn a motion.
That's what I'm
now,
saying.
Ms.
Now we
Shinholster,
need
you're
to-
withdrawing
need
that
to
motion.
withdraw.
I make a motion to withdraw my motion.
Second.
Okay. All right, so I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Before I make a decision, let me address Attorney Jordan. As we talk about this curfew, as we talk about the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., for me, it puts me in a situation where we talk about this could be truancy, because I will be the truancy coordinator for the Baldwin County School District. So therefore, I feel that I may have to recuse myself. With your guidance on this, as we talk about the children, the homebound,
We would probably need to discuss that. I don't think you have to recuse
Okay.
yourself if what's coming up is this, we have this motion for Ms. Shinholster to withdraw. And then I'm anticipating we're gonna have a motion to table And you can vote on that motion to table, and then I can get with you and we can determine.
Okay, because I just want to
There's a
be
potential
fair,
for
and I
conflict.
want to make sure that, like your question with parent involvement, see, those are questions that we will need answers for. Like we were saying, we may need the chief here to give us clarification. So I just want to be clear in what I'm voting for.
Sure.
Madam Clerk.
Ms. Mapp?
So I would vote,
You can vote on, this is vote
Right.
to withdraw this motion.
okay, I vote to withdraw.
Shinholster.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
All right, so at this time, I'm gonna call for a motion to table.
Motion to table ordinance 2605-17 until further understanding.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
All right, the motion is approved. We will now move to the new business part of the agenda tonight, and I will ask the clerk to read ordinance 2606-18 by caption as a first read.
Conduct the ordinance O-2606-18. Conduct the first reading of an ordinance amending the Land Development Code to rezone property located at 841 Dunlap Road, 2.23 acres out of 20.02 acres from SFR Single Family Residential to NOC Neighborhood Office Commercial to construct 4 office units to be used by various contractors for office and flex space. Property is owned by Nisa Khan.
This is the first reading of this ordinance, and I'm referring it to Planning and Zoning Commission. I'll ask the clerk to read Resolution R2606-14 by caption.
Resolution R-2606-14, a resolution to authorize a change order with Peach State Construction Company, LLC, for stormwater drainage replacement and improvements.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt? I need a motion. Or not.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp? Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
Motion is adopted. I will ask the clerk to read Resolution 2606-15 by caption.
Resolution R-2606-15 to authorize a contract with Integrated Computer Surveillance for the installation of security cameras in the East Annex Building, Economic Development Center, and City Hall.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
Motion is adopted. The final item on the agenda is to make an appointment and 2 reappointments tonight. I nominate Sharon Rice to the Planning and Zoning Board. Is there a motion to confirm this nomination?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor, just a quick question. Who is she replacing? Do you know?
I don't.
Who's Milton Choice?
Mr. Choice.
Okay. Choice in District 1.
Right.
Okay, I
Mr.
got
Milton
you.
Choice, yes, he resigned from the board.
I got you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Oh, aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
All right. The next one is I'm nominating Dr. Audrey Cromley to be reappointed to the Allied Arts Board. Is there a motion to confirm this nomination?
Motion to confirm.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
All right, reappointment. Lastly, I am nominating Alderwoman Denise Shinholster to be reappointed to the Allied Arts Board.
So move.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
In the words of a wise old man, it's a poor frog that won't praise his own pond.
Oh, you like that, huh?
All right, at this time, it completes our agenda items, and it is my understanding that we do need to go into closed session this evening
Yes, ma'am.
for a personnel matter. Do I hear a motion to go into closed session?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. I'll ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Mapp?
Aye.
Ms. Pendergast?
Aye.
Dr. Wells?
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster?
Aye.
Well, at this time, we'll be going into closed session, and then we'll return back to the dais after we have completed it. All right, I need a motion to call the regular session back to order.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee.
Aye.
Ms. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Mapp. Aye. Ms. Pendergast.
Aye.
Dr. Wells.
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster.
Aye.
So this concludes the items on the agenda. I think we did a lot of commenting tonight and responses. So I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Dr. Lee.
Aye.
Ms. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Mapp. Aye. Ms. Pendergast.
Aye.
Dr. Wells.
Aye.
Ms. Shinholster.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.